How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, aka AOC, and her comments about the VA healthcare system. Yes, that VA healthcare system, the same one that has been under heavy scrutiny for years and years and years for lack of proper treatment, the same ones that has veterans killing themselves outside of to protest the poor treatment within, the same one that has veterans camped out outside of because they're homeless. Yes, that same VA healthcare system, she said that the healthcare they receive is perfectly fine. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't believe me? Check it out for yourself.
There are some things that we're hearing today, and there's some themes that we got coming out, and especially when it comes to the VA. All I can think of is that classic refrain that my parents always told me growing up, which is that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Exactly, don't fix it. And that is the entire opening and approach that we have seen when it comes to privatization. Is the idea that this thing that isn't broken, this thing that provides some of the highest quality care to our veterans, somehow needs to be fixed, optimized, tinkered with until we don't even recognize it anymore. And here's the thing, they are trying to fix it. But who are they trying to fix it for? Is the question we gotta ask. And this is who they're trying to fix it for. They're trying to fix the VA for pharmaceutical companies. They're trying to fix the VA for insurance corporations. And ultimately, they're trying to fix the VA for a for-profit healthcare industry that does not put people or veterans first.
Okay, so you heard that with your own ears. You saw it with your own eyes. She said that VA healthcare, perfectly fine. Let's not fix it at all. The reason why she was saying this is because she is against privatization. She wants to invoke that fear tactic of, if they privatize it, it'd be all for profit and not about you, the person. Well, when you have a thing that's for profit, that creates incentive. And the incentive is to have the best healthcare. That's for you as an individual. When it's about the government and they control it, there's no incentive to do better. Why? You're still getting paid regardless. There's never going to be an end to the money that comes into the VA as long as it's by the government. But if you are a private hospital, you can get shut down because of poor treatment. All right. And there's less oversight. The VA healthcare system may be able to provide some people with some good treatment. I'm not saying that it's just totally bad all the way around. That'd just be wrong of me to say. But the reality is that the whole system overall is not performing as well as their private counterparts. That's the truth. That's the reality, which makes more sense to privatize at least some of it. Give people the option to go to a private clinic if they need. I mean, just for the purposes of logistics, it makes sense because shout out to Joe Biggs on Twitter, aka Rambo Biggs. He was talking about how when you got to go to the VA hospital, sometimes it's far away. So you got to take off of work, you got to schedule it. And then when you go there, you may get good treatment or you may get bad treatment. A lot of what they do is they just give you drugs and just try to make you into a zombie rather than get into the root of the problem, because it doesn't really matter what they do. As long as they do the bare minimum, a lot of times that's enough. Because like I said, there is no incentive to do better. Why must I innovate? Why must I do anything that's outside of the norm? All I got to do is the basic regs, if that, and then I'm good. Whereas in a private hospital, you must actually provide good treatment. And if you don't, then like I said, you can get shut down. There's competition around. You're losing customers. You're losing patients. You don't want that. Incentive to do better is driven by profit. You could say it's evil. You could say it's wrong. It doesn't matter. This is human nature. When there's no real profit to actually fight for and you're going to get paid regardless, hey, here's your Toradol or whatever, bye. And then people go outside in the parking lot and kill themselves. That's what's going on. So like I said, this is not for every VA hospital, but there is a problem. We can't ignore that. People like AOC and others on the Democratic side will say that the VA hospital is just fine because they want to promote the idea of socialized healthcare. You see what I'm saying? The VA is run by the government. So when we say that a future in America of socialized medicine is the VA, they're going to spin that and be like, oh, the VA is fine. The average normie may not even really understand the difference between the VA and private health care. So they may just rock with that message and repeat that every time it's said, although it's false. But that's how they do. The Democrats, they just put out false information through their media channels. That's why I'm here to fight against that. VA healthcare is not really that good. It's not better than private healthcare. Socialized healthcare is not better than private healthcare. Once you have this Medicaid, Medicare for all, whatever they want to do, you're going to see the quality of healthcare decrease. There's no incentive to do better. Why? You're still getting paid regardless, and you're going to have lower pay for the doctors as well, lower nurse pay. So if there's no private companies that are, trying to compete with each other for dominance in the market, when the pay for doctors is less, pay for nurses is less, then, how are you going to be able to get a great product out of that that's equivalent or better than what we have right now? As I close, I want to say this. I think that if you are a veteran, you should be able to go to a private clinic if you want to and have that be paid for by the government. That's what I think, rather than going to the VA healthcare where you live. It might not be good at all. It may be totally useless. You got people that are totally bypassing that whole situation to pay out their pocket to go to a regular healthcare facility. I mean, it makes sense. If you go into this VA healthcare system and it's bad, it's a private one right here, you're spending your own money, which goes against what you should be given. You were given the promise of healthcare and the benefits, but once you come home, it's not like that. You got to go private. You should be able to have that paid for by the government if you want. You shouldn't be relegated to the VA healthcare system, especially if it's not good where you live or it's far from where you live, where a hospital could be right next door you can go to that'd be better. So that is pretty much all I got. What say you? Do you think AOC is on point here by saying that the VA healthcare system is just fine? Ain't nothing wrong with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Or am I correct in saying that the system is broken, it needs to be fixed? Not all of the VA locations around the country are bad, but a lot of them are. You got the parking lot suicides. You got people killing themselves inside the center when they're not getting proper treatment. They're getting drugged. They're not getting down to the core of the problem. It's a big time mess. Socialized healthcare, socialism in general, will not actually work in this country. We've seen it time and time again fail all around the world when it's been tried. We should not be the latest experiment in socialism only to have it fail. This country is too great, too big to fail. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.